Welcome on into another edition of Prop 5. My name is Eric Wiedeke. You can follow me on X/Twitter at Eric Wiedeke. I am joined once again today by Austin Dobbins. You can follow him at AustinD1316. Also catch the work that he does on the 5 Reasons Sports website. A lot of great writing over there from Austin. How are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Ready to get into some of these prize picks here. It is a pretty large slate here of baseball on this Friday night. A lot we're going to talk about, a lot we're going to get into. But firstly, I do just want to remind everyone, once again, use promo code 5. It's going to be FIVE to play your first lineup of $5 or more and get $50 in bonus funds instantly. We've got baseball every day pretty much from here until football season starts up. So you're going to be seeing a lot of us doing these prize pick shows. And with that being said, Austin, what do you got tonight as your number one play?
Yeah, so I'm going to go out west to the Angels. They've been playing their best brand of baseball this season as they've gotten back to 500. They just announced that Ron Washington will not be managing the team the rest of the year, which is sad news, and prayers out to him. But I'm going to roll with their starting pitcher tonight, Jose Soriano. He's coming into his own this season. He's got an ERA sub 3.5, and over his last 3 starts against some very good lineups, he's been dominant. He went 6 2/3 against the Astros with 10 strikeouts. Against the Yankees, he went 7 innings, no runs, 6 strikeouts, and then against the A's, 7 innings, 1 run, and 12 strikeouts. He's figuring it out with his sinker and slider mix. He's been tunneling really well, and his strikeout line is only at 5. The Nationals don't strike out that much, but out west, they've been struggling at the plate. Against the Padres, they averaged 12 strikeouts per game, and I expect that trend to continue against the flaming hot Angels.
So you're taking the strikeouts with Soriano?
Yep, with the over.
All right. So I'm going to keep it with with another Jose here. I'm going to go with Jose Berrios tonight. His strikeout line also at 5 Ks. Not the biggest strikeout guy in the world, but this is a Boston team that strikes out at the 3rd highest clip in Major League Baseball. And Berrios has been pitching really well of late, so I do expect him to be able to mow down some batters here against Boston. And a lineup that really has been struggling. You think of guys like Jarren Duran and the kind of slump that he's in right now, losing Rafael Devers. I think it's a prime position for a guy like Berrios to take advantage. Austin, your second pick of the night?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the Yankees, and instead of going with Aaron Judge, I'm going to go with Ben Rice. He's been one of the most unlucky players in all of baseball. All he does is hit the ball hard. And this is a perfect matchup for him to finally get something going. The Yankees are back at home. They need to get rolling. And against a team like the struggling A's, that's where I expect this to happen. They're facing Mitch Spence, who Ben Rice does have a home run off of already in his career. And 3.5 hitter fantasy score for Ben Rice is honestly disrespectful for a guy who puts the ball and play hard. And as you can see, he's heating up throughout the season. And his luck is starting to turn around, quite like somebody that I will also mention later on for my play. So I'm going to roll with Ben Rice, hitter fantasy score.
Absolutely. So I'm going to stick with the theme of fantasy score here, but I'm going to go with a pitcher. And it's going to be a guy that's been one of the most consistent pitchers in baseball over the last month and a half or so. It's going to be Ryan Pepiot. His fantasy score is a popular play, and it's exactly that for a reason. 34.5 is the number. That's a pretty high number. But as you can see, he's eclipsed that in 5 straight starts, and he's facing what's been a surprisingly punchless Orioles lineup this season outside of maybe Ryan O'Hearn. Pepiot, 64 fantasy score in his last start against Baltimore. I know usually you're a little wary of starters seeing the same lineup twice within a span of a week or two. But with this guy against that lineup, I'm not super concerned about it. I think he goes over 34.5, if nowhere near that 64 that he had prior.
Yeah, and I agree. Pepiot and the Rays have been one of the best teams in baseball over the last 2 months now. So my next one, I'm going to go with Juan Soto. He is the other unlucky hitter that I talked about. He's been insane in June. He's all the way up to 19 home runs now. His OPS is up to the top 15 in the league. I think he's creeping up on 900. And his fantasy score is always the way I'm going to go with him. He walks. He gets on base any way possible. And they're playing the Pirates. The Mets are going as a team through their worst stretch of the season. And very similarly, they need to get back on track. They just got the last two against the Braves to split the series. And going into Pittsburgh, I expect the Mets to dominate off Mitch Keller, who is 1-10 this season with like a 4 ERA. And Soto has only seen him once, but he had a base hit. So Juan Soto fantasy score.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually take it the other way here. And I'm going to be a little bit negative for once on a guy on Pete Crow Armstrong, and it's really I'm just playing the platoon with him. 202 hitter against lefties this year, 666 OPS, and he's facing Brandon Walter, who not a lot of experience there with Walter, but he has pitched well in his first couple of outings with the Astros in 2025 here. So I'm going to go with Pete Crow Armstrong to go under this 6 fantasy score number. Austin, your fourth and final pick for tonight.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with another Tampa Bay Ray, and I'm going to go with Brandon Lau just for a hit to extend his hitting streak. His hitting streak's up to 13 games. The whole Rays lineup has been insane this year, and I'm going to mess up his name, but they are facing Tomoyuki Sugano today, who hasn't been as advertised for the Orioles. The Rays are going into Baltimore, and Brandon Lau was off the first list of all-star voting, so I expect him to continue his hit streak and try and charge into that coach's vote to make the second base spot for the all-star game.
Absolutely. And another guy here who has come on as a middle infielder of late, I'm going to go with Marlins shortstop Otto Lopez with his hits, runs, and RBIs. Over the last month or so, he's been hitting about 300, 780 OPS. He's been red hot on this West Coast swing for the Marlins. And it's a tough matchup that they've drawn with Merrill Kelly. But the underlying numbers really love Otto Lopez. He barely strikes out. He doesn't really whiff much. The expected average is very high. So I think Otto Lopez continues his hot streak this evening against the Diamondbacks. And that was our picks here for this MLB slate tonight. Remember, guys, use promo code 5. That's going to be promo code FIVE for $50 in bonus funds on your first line of $5 or more. Thanks once again to Austin for joining me. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.